What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I guess I can't see you guys. That was kind of stupid, but all right. Noah, Seth, Matt, we're back. Episode 2 of the 2022 season, our third season for the podcast, Northside or Die. Cubs are 7-9, fourth place currently in the division. And I don't think we can go much lower with how fucking awful Cincinnati is at baseball right now. So at least we won't come in last place. Been only 16 games in, definitely feels like a roller coaster so far. Definitely things we've liked, definitely things we don't want to see. We had some thoughts put out in our group chat earlier today about some of the stuff that went on during today's game. But how you guys doing? You guys say what's up.
Not bad. I was luckily able to go to the game yesterday.
Oh, sweet. Did you go with John and Joe?
Yeah, and Michael and but 21-0. So that was I don't think I've ever seen them score.
That's insane.
It's not like it's 21 runs, but I don't think I've ever seen, Cubs score that many runs ever. And it was
you don't see the Chicago Bears score that many points.
Right, with only one home run. I was like, okay. I knew there's gonna be some runs scored yesterday because the wind was blown out, but there was literally one home run. So it was like they did in such a different way, which I guess we'll talk about in a little bit, but how they've been scoring their runs and stuff.
Yeah. You stayed the whole game?
What?
You stayed the whole game?
We left after the 7th. We had to do something. I know. I was like, if I was with more,
you got your money's worth for sure.
Right. I know. So I was like, we left after it was 16-0. But
that's awesome. So Seth, we'll do like a little tally of how many games we end up going to this year collectively. Noah, have you gone to a game yet? I know you got rained out.
Yeah, me and Rick were supposed to go to one of the Brewers games, and as we got into the city, they decided to postpone it. So
yep.
Haven't been to
were you guys driving there?
We drove, but
okay.
I'm going to a game in a week from Tuesday. Let's see the White Sox. So
sweet. Yeah. So again, for anyone that's new, we've mentioned this before. We're all right around in the South Bend area. So we have the South Shore at our South Bend International Airport. It's about what would you guys say? Hour 45 minutes to get to Millennium Stadium. 2 hours, maybe.
Low two.
Okay.
You gain an hour on the way there.
Well, I took it in March when I went to Chicago, and like one of the stops is like being worked on for like construction.
Yeah, they said
you have to go to like Michigan City, and then you have to take a bus like 20 minutes past it, and then take a second train.
I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be fixed in the next week or two, hopefully. My next game, so no, that you said that's like May 2nd, 3rd. Okay. So I'm going to the Cubs Dodgers game on May 6th. My birthday's May 9th, so that's going to be
my dad's going to that game.
Yep. So we're going to be in the bleachers, so we won't get to see the great man Steve Waltz, the man that gave us Noah. What a guy. Okay. So good introduction. Real quick, I want to bring up our sponsor affiliate again, like we did in the first week. So Victory Lap and all of our podcasts are now, we're partnered with BetUS. So it's a sports book that you can go on, obviously find anything you want to bet, just like any other normal sports book. So when you sign up, if you use our affiliate link that we'll have in this YouTube description, you get 125% sign-on bonus for whatever you decide to initially deposit into your BetUS account. So keep the math easy. If you put in $100, BetUS is going to give you an extra $125 worth of free play or credit that you'll get to try out a couple bets with free money, and hopefully you have a good time and win a lot of money. So that being said, like I said, Cubs are 7-9. Doesn't feel great considering they've played the Pirates 7 times. I was thinking that the Rockies was going to be a little easier just because of how they've been the past couple of years, but the Rockies have surprisingly been off to a pretty good start. So it's not as painful, I would say, we split the 4 with the Rockies. That Rays series kind of just went by super fast, but we went 1-2 against them, right?
Yeah.
And then the Brewers the opening series was awesome. Taking two of three against the Brewers set like a super strong feeling. Like I was just like, okay, like they're playing pretty well. And obviously the Brewers are a good team again this year. Are they in first? They got it by a half game, or are the Cardinals?
I think Cardinals are.
Okay.
Yeah.
After the Cubs played us, they got to play the Orioles and the Pirates their next two series. So man, the Cardinals pitching is amazing again. Their offense, they have one of the worst like offensive batting averages across the league so far. Like 5 of their starters are batting like under 190 right now. And they're still it's such a Cardinals thing for them to be successful so far. But anyway, so was there like a certain game to you guys that has stood out, or like a certain performance that you've seen so far that like through these first 16 games, so 10% through the regular season, like what stands out? What's something that Cubs fans can kind of hang their hat on as like something to look forward to seeing more? Something you can say like, oh, the Cubs are a decent team. What's something that sticks out to you?
Seiya. No, but I think that's the obvious choice for all Cubs fans. I mean, the Cubs offense, I don't think it's been as frustrating, but you look up and you see the record 7-9. It's like, damn, especially against some not, the best competition.
Right.
Like you've seen good performances by obviously Suzuki. Nico's been really good, I think. Ian Happ's been pretty good. So they're just been frustrating. They get on base so much, but with it, like I think they were leading the league in ground double plays, which makes sense if you put the ball in contact more often than not.
And if Jay Hayes in the starting lineup.
But we can get into that later. But my man Alfonso Rivas should be starting every game too.
What a guy! Oh my, I can't remember which one of you mentioned Rivas in our first episode. It might have been both of you, to be honest. He wasn't really super high on my radar as like an everyday kind of starter. I thought it was going to be more like matchup kind of thing, but bro is raking.
Yeah, I would rather see him than obviously Hayward, probably Ortega too. I mean, I think he's just.
Nice to see Ortega finally do something though.
Yeah, he had a nice day today, but I know the next point that we're going to talk about the VR, and he's had a good start offensively, but defensively, that man is just making errors left and right.
You got to be.
I think
DH.
5 errors.
How is he not the DH if he's in a game?
Right. Well, it's like at this point, Nico needs to play every day.
Well, let's say David Ross made a good point in his post game today. Someone asked him like how confident he is in VR playing the infield, and he's like, literally no one else can play shortstop other than Nico. So when Nico needs a day off, like it has to be VR.
Right.
So Wisdom can't play short. Madrigal's comfortable at second.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have much of a choice. Andrelton Simmons hurt. So
I was about to mention the guy we got from the Guardians. Trying to remember his name. The middle infielder we got from the Guardians. I can't remember his name though.
Simmons?
Oh, is that who you just said?
Yeah, but
that totally rolled over my head. Sorry. I don't even know what's his outlook. Like how long are we looking to see him possibly get back? I haven't heard much.
Yeah, I haven't heard much either. I think probably a couple weeks.
Yeah.
There's still happening. So I would say probably at least at the earliest.
It'd be nice if Boog would talk about important stuff during the broadcast than what he shot at a bowling alley on a Tuesday after the game. I know you guys still like Boog, and that's cool. I'm not a big Boog guy. Fuck Boog.
But
sorry. But today was cool. They had the radio talk host on with JD. I thought that was a fire. Even though the Cubs weren't playing well, like I love him so much.
Yeah. It messes with your brain a little bit. I was just like, having on, it's like, well, I should be on the radio. I shouldn't be watching it. That was one of those things.
All right. So Noah. So Seth said, obviously Seiya, he mentioned some of the bad stuff we'll get to later, but like what's like a big standout? Not necessarily like a player, it could be a player or like something that the team is doing well.
I like how the bullpen's been playing so far this year. There's been a couple times where they've been iffy, but like I couldn't tell you one reliever that will come in the game, but like I really don't want to see him in. The only guy that I've been iffy on, even in spring training, was Michael Rucker, and Ross plays him more than I like, but even he's been doing well so far. But like you got guys like Keegan Thompson doing well.
A beast.
Scott Efros has been good. I mean Rowan Wick has been terrible. Chris
Given
Martin
and Robertson's been good.
Robertson has been great in closing, pitch 2 shutout today. So it's like, I guess Daniel Norris is probably someone I wouldn't want to see.
Yeah.
But like we have no lefties, so hopefully we see more of Sean Newcomb now that we got him. But he pitched a shutout inning yesterday. But yeah, bullpen definitely has been good to make up for our starting pitching not being able to go past 5 innings ever.
Yeah, you kind of see it across the league. It's obviously an effect that's been made from the shortened preseason. I mean, obviously, Clayton Kershaw was a big story. He had perfect game through 7 innings, and he was only at 80 pitches. And it's just like they pulled him out, and he didn't look like visibly upset about the decision. Like obviously he's a veteran, so he could be really good at like internalizing the emotions. But even in the post game, he was like, what are your thoughts on that decision? And he was like, it was the right decision. Like, was Clayton Kershaw like just doing his manager a favor by lying right there, or like maybe he actually wasn't able to like throw 100 pitches that day? So it's across the league, and it'll be exciting because I mean, yesterday we had Kyle Hendricks pitching in the blowout, the 21-0 game. He won 7 innings, no earned runs, obviously. So that was really good to see. I enjoyed that.
Right, wasted one good start where he, I mean, not he'll have a more good starts, but like the best start of the year, arguably.
Yeah,
against when they scored 20 runs.
It was nice, like no pressure. He was able to kind of focus more on like his arm slot, like in his mind. He wasn't as focused like on the game specifically, I'm sure, because it was a blowout. He's probably able to focus more on like his control and like I said, his arm slot and his location, because it basically turned into like a free bullpen day for him. And like I said, it helps with that shortened off season, not getting as many reps. So I like that. So for me, I would say we'll get to the bad part after this. As soon as I start thinking about the offense, the same thing jumps in my head, and it's really unfortunate. Ian Happ looks like 2020 Ian Happ so far, like not quite as explosive like in terms of home runs so far, but he'll get there. We're only 16 games in, but he puts the ball in play so like not nearly as like his strikeout rate is clearly down, especially from last year. He's putting the ball in play a lot, and even on his outs, he's doing a good job going the opposite way, because they shift when he lines up left-handed. They shift the fuck out of him, and you can see the Rizzo effort there in his approach. Like he's cool just spanking middle away pitches out to the left side of the infield and into the outfield. So I miss Ian Happ. I felt really bad for him last year. He struggled very immensely. So I would say I'm really happy with Ian Happ, especially when last week we talked about how this lineup is going to find like an everyday, like stabilized lineup. And Ian Happ being able to, like I said, consistently put the ball in play is going to give David Ross a bit more leverage to work with shaping around the lineup, because we don't really have like a leadoff guy either. I know that's not the same point, but that just hopped in my head. Like, who would your everyday like leadoff guy be right now?
Nico.
Yeah.
Or Revive. Almost every at bat, it seems like.
Yeah. I still think it'd be interesting, like if Nick Madrigal can work on it, get his on base percentage up a little. Like I wouldn't see a problem with Nick Madrigal being lead off, but Nico's probably more suitable right now for sure.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think he's exceeded my expectations. I mean, it's still early, but he's been very good. Madrigal, I think people are starting to like, but I think it's still early. He would miss most of all last year. I mean, he still, obviously today was not a good example, but that man still never strikes out. Like, he struck out 3 times going in today, and twice today in a row when we need him to put the ball in place, of course. But I think he'll be fine long term, though.
Yeah, like the strikeouts is always, I understand hitting the baseball is the hardest fucking thing to do in all sports. But like the first 2 seasons of this podcast, and obviously even before, like since even the World Series year and 2015, like there was still like a clear strikeout problem with the Cubs. Like they were in the top 10 or 12 most strikeouts like every year the past 7 or 8 seasons. And I don't think that's going to be an issue this year. We'll probably end up somewhere right in the middle percentile, like 50, 60 percentile for strikeouts, which is a huge step to take in one season. Obviously it's still early. But yeah, I can't stand striking out, especially runners in scoring position, which flipping to bad stuff, which I'll just go because this kind of leads into my spot. Obviously they didn't have problems getting runners in scoring position in the 21-0 blowout. But even in the first inning of Saturday's game, I'm pretty sure they had bases loaded.
Hayward.
Yeah. And they still only got 1 run. Like, I was just like, really? That's how you're going to, and then they dropped an 8-piece in the second inning. So that was pretty sick.
Going back to my point of like, there's not one reliever I really would hate to see. It's kind of how I feel about the offense. Like everyone that bats, like I don't feel like, oh, this is an easy out other than Jason Hayward, Like Ortega's average is kind of bad right now, but still even like he's
put good at bats.
He does, and he takes a lot of walks, but other than Jason Hayward, which I just can't stand watching him hit.
Yeah.
Like, everyone in the lineup, like I feel decently confident where they're at least going to make contact or get on base. And with the old group, there wasn't that much confidence. Which
Right.
they took the approach, like you said, more contact, less strikeouts, leading to more double plays, sadly, which has hurt us.
Yeah. So Jason Hayward, obviously we know the double play problem. The one thing I will say right now is batting 267. That's fine if he's going to bat 7-hole. I mean, but once he drops below like 240 or 230, like you got to start mixing with the lineup and getting these younger guys more involved.
I'll tell you one thing I noticed. I do not want Patrick Wisdom batting with runners in scoring position.
Oh my gosh.
He's left so many guys on base this year is insane. Like when he came up in that 8th inning, I just like that was one of her points. Like I don't feel comfortable with this.
Right.
Of course, he struck out on pitch.
I would rather see Nico in that situation.
Yeah.
Like hit Nico.
Oh my gosh, dude! This game today had me so mad.
Yeah, this was
more than normal.
Most frustrating games by far today.
You have Nico and Rivas put up 9 or 10 RBIs yesterday total, and you bench both of them.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, and he should have pinch hit him for Patrick Wisdom. Like, even though Wisdom's been hitting pretty well, you need just a hit there, and Patrick Wisdom swings for the fences every time. So
yeah, he's definitely gonna have to figure something out. That is so hard to watch, and everyone really hopped on Patrick Wisdom last year because, especially after all the trades went down, like there wasn't like a whole lot to root for.
He's still hitting well.
Yeah, but
now with runners on,
the consistency last year was very strong.
Yeah,
and that's kind of like a narrative I always go back to in baseball because it is such a long season. The consistency is really nice to have, like especially like. I mean, it's gonna sound really weird, but like I'd almost rather have someone hitting like 255, but they're like putting the ball in play consistently and getting like maybe like 1 hit a game, especially like putting the ball in play and moving runners with 2 strikes in the count. versus maybe some, and I know the math is going to sound, but I'd rather have that 255 guy than a 275 hitter that is wasting these scoring opportunities, striking out like Patrick is. I just like the flow, and Patrick Wisdom is not helping the flow of the lineup right now. Obviously, still like him early in the season. So with his strikeouts, he has 21 strikeouts, and he's played 15 games. So that's the same. He has the same number of strikeouts as Nick Madrigal, Frank Schwindel, and Nico Horner combined.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like the Cubs don't have much power in their lineup, and Wisdom can provide that. But like he's some of that take with the old, of like the Bryant, Rizzo, Schwarber, the days where like it's frustrating. And I think Wilson's even some of that too. Like Wilson and runners in scoring position has been pretty brutal as well. Maybe just as bad as Wisdom, honestly. Where they're fine players. And I'm not comparing Wilson to Wisdom, but like today, Wilson with, runners in scoring position and then the 8th or 9th and gets ahead 2-0 and then he gets blown by 3 straight fastballs. It's like, God, I love Wilson, but it's just like, you just need to put the ball in play.
That whole 9th inning was frustrating. I thought Ortega should have went home on that bloop. Even if he read it like not well immediately, like you got to take the risk there. I think he would have made it, but that was just me.
Okay,
sorry.
And
I also thought he should have went to third on his hit too.
Yeah.
So we've talked about obviously some of the bad stuff, like runners in scoring position, hitting with runners in scoring position. Like to see that better. Patrick Wisdom, like to see the efficiency go up a little bit. Who's Patrick Wisdom's? Who said that? Was that Seth?
No.
All right. So Seth, what about you? Like, and again, it doesn't have to be a guy. It could be like gameplay. What's like a bad thing you'd like to see kind of turn around so far this season?
Yeah, I mean, I like kind of go back to our point. You just better start and pitch and performance. Just so the bullpen's been very good, but as we saw years past, like they start out very good or they have good stretches, but then the starting pitching just lacks, and then they're overused, overworked, and they become run down pretty quick. And some of that, like you mentioned earlier, is building back up from spring training, shortened spring training. Stroman has been great. It's only been 3 starts, but you'd like to see him have a good start here. Getting Wade Miley back instead of seeing Mark Leiter. It should hopefully.
That game was so bad. That game was so bad.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know how long the time is going to be, but I think Caleb Killian in AAA, he's been killing it, and I could see him come
later, hopefully,
and getting some innings, and kind of go back to the other part, having like a leadoff guy. Nico seems like he could be that guy, but Ortega, like he's had good at. We'll see, even though the average is low, he does take his walks and will get AB. But that's kind of a missing, there's a lot wrong with this team, but having like a true leadoff guy, center fielder is kind of hurting him a little bit. But hopefully Brian Davis can come up as well in the future.
That was exactly who I was about to bring up. Like in baseball, like going on to like just not even just the leadoff, like baseball is such a routine hammered kind of sport. Like the approach that these guys take, like preparing for games, getting in their mental state, getting warmed up for a game. And my dad is a huge advocate of this. Obviously, if something's not working, you got to change the lineup. But being able to establish like an everyday consistent lineup, like not necessarily like where they play on defense, but you're 1 through 9, like by the middle of May, or at least the end of May, it's nice when every guy is not like guessing where they're going to bat in the order, like a couple hours before every game. Like they can kind of like not have to worry about that. And I'm sure there's guys that like appreciate kind of the consistency that brings along. I don't know what your guys' thoughts on that. Maybe that's more me.
No, I actually had a thought like that earlier. Like ever since David Ross moved Suzuki to the 2 spot, it just doesn't seem like it's been the same. because he doesn't get as many chances with runners on.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. Why move a guy that's having the
Yeah.
success? Like you should be
Well,
moving.
he said
Well, I don't think-
he said that's the long-term goal is to have him bat second every day, which I don't understand why. Like obviously you get more at bats, but when you got guys who can get on like Ian Happ, Contreras, Nico, like that you could put in front of him, you want
Right.
him in like the 4 or 5 when you can get him more RBIs. Other than the 2 spot when you have Ortega who's barely getting on lately, and then you have Suzuki coming in with no one on base, so his approach is totally different. That's why I was just saying ever since they moved him to the 2 spot, I think he's struck out like double the amount.
Who was he's like up to 4 instead of 2 now, or he's up to 6 instead. I know what you're saying. He doesn't strike out a whole lot, but who was the 2 hold for like before Suzuki moved up there?
To Wilson.
Were they like playing with it? Was it a couple different guys?
I don't remember because they did Ortega. No, Contreras was 3, then Happ, then Schwindel, and Suzuki 6.
Right.
I don't remember who 2 was.
I don't either.
Madrigal, maybe.
I think it was, yeah.
Which like I said, I don't hate Madrigal in the 1 or 2. I know he hasn't had the greatest start to the year, but he will get on base. Like I'm very confident that he'll hit close to 300 this year. Like I just think that his profile, like he's gonna get his hits. They're just they just haven't fallen yet.
Once his on base percentage gets to like 365, 375, like put him in the 1. Just put him in the 1.
Ideally, you'd like to see like Nico, Nick 1, 2.
Yeah.
Then like maybe Hap 3, and then Suzuki 4. Because I do think like for having those 3 guys in front of them, like there's a very good chance in any inning one of those guys can get on base. Like to have at least one guy on base for Suzuki, which I know that Suzuki has struck out a little bit more the past couple of days, but I mean he had 3 hits yesterday. I mean he had another hit today. I mean like he's still gonna have success wherever he's at. I mean, but like you said, in an ideal world where the Cubs lineup is deep, it's not going to matter, but when you only have a couple guys you're kind of confident in, like truly, really confident, it's kind of tough though.
Definitely. And I know I said I was going to bring it up too, but our guy, Brendan Davis, I mean, we had him on the podcast. That was 2 seasons ago, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't last year.
No.
Okay. So we have, in case you're, like I said at the beginning, if you're new, we actually had Brendan Davis as a guest 2 years ago when he was still with the South Bend Cubs. Awesome guy. If you want to take a listen to it, it's on our SoundCloud account, Victory Lap Media. So go check it out if you want to listen to that. But yeah, dude, if Brendan Davis comes up and Jay Hay can just like, I don't want to, if like I said, Jay Hay is hitting 269 right now, which if he wants to keep doing that, great. Like he can be a role player. I saw him jog to a fucking bloop today and it pissed me the fuck off. So he was playing.
I saw that. Yeah. He was
at the beginning of the game and he puts his glove up like he's getting ready to catch it. And he's like jogging. I was like, bet, let's go. And the ball falls like 10 feet in front of him, but he was already jogging for like fucking 6 or 8 steps. I was like, dude, what the fuck? And with the outfielders, like, if the ball is coming down like a bloop like that, it's not rolling to the fence. Like, go lay out. Like, give the fans like something to cheer for. Want to make a play, but anyway. Don't want to get too hard on Jay Hay. I'm sure we have all season to do that. So Cubs 7 and 9. If you extend that like multiplication, obviously they would go like 71 and 91. So it's a little under our preseason projections that we made. Also, if you want to check out our preseason projections for the Cubs and all the end of the season awards, you can follow us on Twitter at Northside or Die. Give us a follow. Give us a DM or comment on one of our tweets if you have a topic you'd like to hear us talk about. We'd love to do that. So last thing, let's look at the Cubs upcoming schedule. So apologies that we Did not do an episode last week. It was Easter, so that's all I'm gonna say about that. So the Cubs' upcoming schedule, it is about to get very difficult. So the Cubs are off Monday. So today's Sunday, the 24th. So the Cubs are off Monday, and then they go down to Atlanta for 3 games, and then they go to Milwaukee for 3 games, and then they come back home to play the White Sox for 2. So let's talk about.
And then the Dodgers, and then the Padres.
Yeah, we'll go through, and then they play the Dodgers at home for 3. So Braves, Brewers, White Sox, and Dodgers are the Cubs' next 11 games with no days. There's 1 day off on May 5th. So I mean, so the Cubs are sitting at 7-9. Those are the next 2 weeks of games. It looks daunting, but we've seen the Cubs play well enough to where they can hang with the good teams, like for sure. Like we saw it against the Brewers. So what are we thinking? Like how are you guys feeling about those? Definitely the starting pitching is to be huge. I know we talked about we'd like to see more consistency. We're going to have to get plenty of 6-inning starts from these guys if we're going to want to have a chance at least to go 500 or like 5-6 through these next 11 games.
Yeah, I don't know. They seem to have been playing better on the road than they have at home.
Yeah, I could see this team being like one of those. It's like they play to their competition, so like they might go easy. Like they might win out of those 6-8 games. Let's say they might go like 5-3 and be like, oh shit, and then they'll play again the Diamondbacks or the Pirates, and they'll go like 2-5. You know, it's one of those things where I think this team's got enough talent to be able to compete, but you know, they're going to be frustrating at times because it's like, damn, if they just got like today is like, I feel like today's give me a good microcosm.
That's a 2-game swing. Like if you just win 3 out of 4 against the Pirates here, we're 9-7 and we're 2 games back, I think, or a game and a half back. Like it's just so disappointing losing to fucking Pittsburgh, man. Like it's fucking Pittsburgh.
Losing 3 out of 4 with a +17 run differential.
Yeah.
Right. My dad mentioned that. He's like, wow, the Cubs run differential is going to look really good the next couple of weeks. And the Cubs have the most runs scored in the league right now. So that's pretty interesting. Team at 7-9, 4th place in the division, has the most runs scored in baseball. Go fucking figure.
Jeez. Well, I mean, who knows? I mean, I know that Atlanta, they haven't been playing great though. Milwaukee, like Noah kind of called early in this year. I guess their offense is just so like there's so like
there's nothing special about it.
Like I'd rather take the Cubs offense any day of the week, honestly. At this, like if you take the Brewers pitching with the Cubs offense,
oh fire!
But they're just Christian Yelich has just been getting worse every year, which is kind of fake.
Love to see it.
And then the White Sox, they've been kind of trash lately.
Damn, you just bro. Someone's gonna keep that receipt now, bro.
That's fine. Like I said, my Twins pick is looking kind of nice. But I mean, Eloy's gonna be out for a couple months.
Yeah, the White Sox are getting everyone injured, so
like I don't know. I mean, it is early. It's 2 weeks into this season, but
yeah. All right, so next 11 games, like I said, the Braves, Brewers for 3, White Sox for 2, and Dodgers for 3.
5-6.
5-6. Okay, Seth.
6-5.
6-5. All right. So Stroman starts Tuesday. I want to see him throw like a fucking 2-hit, go like 7 1/3 with like 7 strikeouts, 8 strikeouts. That would set such a great tone for this short road trip. And the guys want him. Like Marcus seems like an awesome guy. Like easy for us to root for as fans, but like I bet if he's like that in the clubhouse, like guys are waiting for him just to like have that one like fire start to kind of start his Cubs journey. So
say 8-3.
I'll go 7-4. I'll say that's what I'm liking. Honestly, 5-6, like I wouldn't be upset about 5-6 through that tough stretch of games. Like I'll say 7-4. I'll put it out there. Any closing thoughts from you guys? Anything else you want to get off your chest real quick?
When you're talking about Stroman, made me think like any starter that goes like 6 innings, I'll be happy with.
Yeah, I agree. Seth?
I'll just say my AL standings predictions are looking pretty good.
Yeah, those are also on the Twitter. So we all made our projections on which teams are going to win the division and win wild card spots. So if you're interested in looking at that, you want to comment your own picks. Obviously, we're alone this season, but go ahead and let us know who you got. That's going to wrap it up for episode 2. Thanks again for listening. Really appreciate it. Like I said, if you're interested in adding a new sports book to your repertoire and setting up an account, BetUS, it's in the description. The link's right there. You get 125% sign-on bonus. So check it out. And if obviously you're watching this on YouTube, if you haven't already, I think we're like 5 subscribers away from 1,000. And we talked with Michael on the other podcast. Once we hit 1,000, we're going to start doing live streams through YouTube. So please subscribe, like the video, and yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.